quilts that tell a story of anguish, despair, fear, and helplessness.
This was a crucial moment for us because it was a moment when people were confronted by this incredibly painful video. And it was important to seize that moment in some way.
Reverend Mark Koyoma of the United Church of Jaffrey came up with the idea of creating quilts in honor of George Floyd. The layers of fabric portray Floyd's last words as Minnesota Police Sergeant Derek Chauvin pressed his knee against Floyd's neck, refusing to let up, despite his pleas, telling officers he could not breathe. Reverend Koyoma says parishioners wanted to do something to support the Black Lives Matter movement.
From my perspective, it was like I was not as interested in why the outrage was there as much as I was interested in, okay, let's grab this. Let's make the most of this while we can. There's a precedent for this, the AIDS quilt. This is, there's a precedent for quilts being, kind of an activist kind of medium. Quilting also has this kind of narrative quality, right? It has this way in which we put together fragments of material that come into our lives, and we create narrative out of that.
Reaching out to other Church of Christ congregations in New Hampshire, 9 churches responded. It's called the Sacred Ally Quilt Project.
When I read this, it's reading like the most heart-rending poem you could ever imagine, because usually when you read a poem, you can be affected by it emotionally, but you aren't aware that the words are the words of a person who is in the process of dying. So this is the most painful poem you can imagine.
On this day, the quilts arrived at the United Church of Christ in Greenland. The display open to the public. One by one, the quilts were unfurled and put into place under the watchful eye of Harriet Ward. Harriet is a longtime quilter who attends the Pilgrim United Church of Christ in Kingston. As an African American who grew up in New Hampshire, Harriet knows the message these quilts represent affects her much differently.
These words are part of my history. Some of these words are words I grew up hearing or thinking.
Harriet sewed 2 quilts. This first features the flag of Ghana in West Africa.
I really believe that these words are the same. What we're screaming and crying for in 2020 and 2022 are the same things that our ancestors were screaming and crying for 400 years ago. Not enough has changed.
Harriet's second quilt, a patchwork comprised of 1,380 squares, shades of purple and blues blended together. This exhibit created a close friendship between Reverend Koyoma and Harriet. Before the project, they had never met. Now they are kindred spirits.
Harriet has deepened the entire process immensely. And from it, we've grown very, very close. Thank you for coming to this blessing of the quilts.
The project will be featured in a short movie produced by filmmaker Chris Owen of Ribeye Media. Church members reflecting on the project after it was completed.
I set about designing the quilt with a pad of paper and a pencil and putting the words down. And by the time I got to the end of the words, I couldn't even get to the end because I was in tears.
The opportunity there was to invite those who had been involved in that creative process to reflect on what it was like to spend focused, extended time with the anguished words of a dying man. That's the power of the film, to me.
The movie will premiere at a gallery in New York City along with the exhibit this spring. For Harriet Ward, who has lived with racism her entire life, there is hope that the outrage over Floyd's death will not be followed by what she calls amnesia.
It was a whole different level of emotion and meaning that it had for people that look like me, because it is people that look like me. I am glad that they find it powerful and moving in our thinking. It's just a different culture. It's not a bad thing. It's just a difference. Some differences are kind of cool to put next to each other.